Welcome to the Gen AI Africa podcast explorers, where we decode the future, spotlight African innovations, and amplify youth voices that are shaping Africa's digital future. And today we are joined by a very familiar voice at Gen AI Africa podcast. I'm not sure if you guys can actually guess who are we hosting today. And of course, I'm not alone. I'm with Tuladi, the host of the host. And today, last time we had this guest, we're speaking about the future of agents. We also touched on the AI youth ecosystem. And even today, we're just going deeper on the AI youth ecosystem. And we also, I think, last time we also spoke about the power of open source communities in enforcing cross-border collaboration. So yes. I'm not sure if you guys can guess, but yes, today we are joined by a very dedicated leader when it comes to the AI youth ecosystem or AI ecosystem. He's from Tanzania. I'm just giving you guys clues, so I hope you can actually guess. So he's building a very vibrant innovation ecosystem, and you know that this week the African Union Development Agency (NEPAD) is hosting the Science, Technology and Innovation week. So we just wanted to also be aligned with what is happening because they are hosting the Science, Technology and Innovation Week on the margins of the 39th African Union Summit. So basically the Science Week is marked by the launch of the implementation plan as it relates to the innovation ecosystem. So the 2034 implementation plan is actually being launched this week. So we're just going to talk about how do we build a vibrant innovation ecosystem that is responding to the African that is responding to the African challenges, because we don't want, as I always say, we don't want to get solutions from the other continents. So we'll be we'll be diving deep into the innovation ecosystem. And of course, yes, let me just tell you, we are joined by Zephania Ruben. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing the name correct. I hope this time I got it right. Hi, Zephania, how are you?
Hi, how are you? Good. How are you doing? And I think you pronounced it so well. It's Zephania Ruben.
Oh, wow. That's good.
Uh,
And how are
so
you today? How
yeah, I'm
is
doing good.
Tanzania? And I see like you are doing a lot of good work within the
Yeah,
innovation ecosystem.
yeah, we are trying our best, and as you know, there is a lot of things to do around the AI ecosystem in our country, in the continent. So, what we are doing is just to try to stretch and see where we can go together. So I'm excited to be here, and thank you so much for inviting me for the second time. It's Anihan actually. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for coming again. Like in our last episode, I said that we are going to call you again. So we are even now we're still going to call you. Like if there are other events that are taking
Yes,
place,
yeah.
and also we'll always call you. Please.
Thank you for the privilege. Thank you.
So, as I said, that the African Union Development Agency is hosting their Science, Technology, Innovation Week. I
Yeah.
just want for you to speak about the innovation challenges, because I like there are a lot of innovation challenges that we see. There's clean tech, there's
Yeah.
green tech innovation challenge, there's agri innovation challenges. So, how do we make sure that these innovations are actually contributing towards building the digital future that we want for the African continent? So, what is the impact, and how can we make sure that we enhance the impact of these innovation challenges?
Wow, that's so good question. Considering the fact that, as we said, Africa has a lot of problems, and actually we have youth who are dedicated to solve these problems and make sure we don't play the like a catch-up game during this era of AI, but we move together with other mini developed countries. So when it comes to these innovation challenges, I know there is a lot. And the essence of these innovation challenges, as I said, is to motivate and empower youth around the tech ecosystem to innovate and come up with solutions for different challenges around the continent. So for me, I see like they are doing good, though within these innovation challenges, there are also challenges, but I would like to focus more on the good part of it and possibly highlight some of the very few challenges which we might face around these innovation challenges. So, first is that they provide space for youth to go beyond boundaries and try to think of solutions which can empower our communities. And as you know, currently, as we're here talking about AI, so AI has came up with a lot of possibilities to help our community thrive around the current century. So, for instance, one of the innovation challenge recently I've seen is this from AfriAI Lab, where they're calling innovators specifically for two sectors. It's for health and agriculture. So, which when you think about them, they are very important sectors or areas around the continent. When you talk about health, you're actually talking about people's lives, and when you are talking about agriculture, you're talking about food. How are we going to survive without food? How are we going to survive without good health? So you see like they are very crucial areas of development. And then when we have youth solve challenges around these areas, for instance, with AI, maybe you can do medical diagnosis, maybe you want to do drug discovery, or maybe you want to be able to create these maybe bionic devices to help people living with disabilities to live well, or maybe you want to do in agriculture sector, maybe you want to solve the issue of food shortage. And as you know, health and agriculture also are part of the SDGs. So that means these challenges or projects are not just there to motivate youth, but they are designed to solve very crucial problems. So for me, I feel like we are in a good direction, and we might empower a lot of youth to get into the tech ecosystem and to be more creative and to see problems or challenges as opportunities to make the community thrive around this tech powered society, I can say.
Thank you so much. I know that you are working like with grassroots innovators at Build Space and Nile HI, open source community. So I wanted to find out if like how do you make sure that you also support these kind of initiatives?
Okay, thank you so much. So, for us, what we are focusing with at Nile AGI currently is to create, I can say, tech stack. So, tech stack in terms of software stack to help innovators. So, for now, I'm going to talk about one of our product, which is Delta. So, Delta is a product which focuses on enabling AI access build. As we know, most of the communities around the continent are still facing the challenge of internet access. And when you talk about current AI systems, you must talk of internet. Like for people to use these AI systems, they have to make sure they are having reliable internet connectivity. And for the places where there is no reliable internet connectivity, that means there is no access to the current AI systems. So we thought of that, and we felt like we need to make sure people have more access of AI. So we created Delta as a tech stack to enable people access mostly powerful AI models on their local machines or local devices without the need of internet connection. That's one perspective. So if you are an African innovator and you are thinking of creating a solution that is AI powered, you might not now think of maybe having APIs from these larger companies, maybe paying for these API calls, which is very costful. So think of you as an innovator, and then you want to build a solution for a particular challenge, and then you have to pay money to buy, let's say, certain APIs or certain AI access somewhere so that you'll be able to power your solution. But with Delta, you just have to install it on your local machine and then use it without need of internet access. And also, together with that, as you know, I think most of the very important and useful thing currently is data. So when you are using these crowd-based services, that means you don't have access to data, and then what you are feeding in these AI models, like you don't have any control over that specific data. So with platforms like Delta, we ensure like the solutions we are building for Africa, they actually consider security and privacy issues first before thinking of providing that specific solution to community. Maybe you create the solution and then you deploy it to the community, and then they start using it without knowing they are being uh, uh, like then in a trap of selling their data to other crowd services platforms. So to make it short, it's like with Knowledge AI, we are creating tech stacks to empower innovators to build solutions which are relevant and contextualized in Africa. Like what are the problems? You think of internet connectivity is a problem, then how are we going to solve it? We have to solve it by having solutions that can work without even the need to connect to the internet. So that's how we empower them. But another perspective of empowering innovators is how we do our community engagements. So currently we have this community space. It's called Builders Space, where we bring together youth who are very ambitious to try to build and come up with very good solutions, I can say, to our local problems. But what we encourage on around those solutions is they have to be very relevant to our society, but also they should not introduce other problems. So you might find like you are creating a solution, and then around that solution, then you create another problem. That's another thing we are very careful of it. So we empower communities around those two areas. So we create a tech stack, and then we create talent and developers for the country, for the continent. Yeah.
Wow, that's so profound. And I feel like as the African continent, or as the African countries, we need to try and learn from each other. Because I don't think we'll achieve anything if we do not collaborate. So collaborative efforts are actually what will actually determine the future of our continent. We recently, I think last month, we were celebrating the International Day of Education, and some of the disturbing statistics from the UN was that 172 million learners miss school because of conflicts in Africa and because of disasters. So I just want for you to assist us in terms of how do we make sure that we innovate for education, because last month, as I said, the International Day of Education was celebrated under the theme "The Power of Youth in Co-Creating the Future of Education," and the more focus was on digital education. So, like, if we can make sure that everyone is connected, and everyone has access to devices, and everyone has access to all these opportunities, we won't be having like such like a big number of young learners who are missing their classes or missing their learning opportunities because of there's no access, like there are no digital learning opportunities. So, like, what's your take on this? I just wanted us to throw it because we recently celebrated the International Day of Education.
Oh wow, that's a very profound question. So, as you said at the beginning, so me and my team around different initiatives, we are trying to solve different problems, and one of my initiative is Log AI. I think you've
Yes, I know. Look,
so yeah, so with Log AI, our focus is AI plus education. And what you said, like most of the kids around different countries in Africa, they don't get access to education because of different conflicts around those countries, but combined with the other factors. So what we're building, I think we're going to release it next week at Log AI. It's a platform called Visual N. So I'll just give you about like very few insights about the platform, and you're going to have a different perspective of how we can empower a kid like to learn digitally, considering the fact that before having visual learning we need to have very basic or very basic equipments, like we need to make sure our kids have access, let's say, to internet, have access to computers or laptops, have access maybe to tablets. So that's a very basic equipment that should be available to these kids so that they can have access to digital learning tools. So even if they are not able to attend to school, they can learn digitally through those specific equipment. So now when you're having equipment, then you can think of platforms like Visual Learn. So Visual Learn has two components. The first one is to enable kids learn visually, either by simulation or maybe by animation, illustrations, or a different way of visual learning. So as we know, the current generation is more visual generation. They don't like too much, like leading too much. So they just want to see things visually. So we have designed it to be able to help kids learn visually by just prompting. So if you want to learn maybe a certain process, let's say maybe mitosis process in biology, how cell divide and create other cells possibly. So you just write the prompt and then you'll be able to see how that process takes place, and then you'll be able to ask instant questions, like to engage with that specific visualization, ask questions and get instant responses. And that's what we are trying to design. So you see, like, even if there is no specific teacher to explain that specific vision for you, you can just ask questions straight and get responses instantly. So that's the first way you can think of it. The second way, we have designed it to be more like to have more of agentic workflow. So think of it this way: when you're in a class, you can think the class as this. Like, you have a teacher, and then there are other students. So teacher, let's say specific teacher of a certain subject, let's say physics, has specific properties or characteristics. Maybe he's very analytical, or maybe she's very analytical, or maybe he or she likes asking questions and all that. So when you're in visual learning, you can just create a virtual class, and within that virtual class, you can create a teacher. Maybe I just want to learn chemistry, and then I create a chemistry teacher, and then I give that teacher specific properties I need. Maybe I just want him to be analytical, to be asking questions, or maybe to be prompting me with reflective questions, and then I can create my I can say my classmates. So my classmates are going to be AI agents. Like maybe I create like other 5 students within that specific class, and then I'll be part of that class. So it's more of a class engagement which is virtual. Like I'm the only student who is, I can say, maybe a physical student, and then other teaching students are just virtual agents who can help me learn by asking questions or by sharing different lessons. Maybe after the session, we could have maybe the first AI agent sharing what it has learned, and then from that I can learn something, and then we have another AI agent sharing maybe from this class I've learned XYZ, and then I can maybe pick up a certain point from that too. So you find like uh, you might you might not have a chance to go to a class, but then with digital, where like with AI, you can have that experience of being in a class just virtually. So that's what we are trying to create, and I think it's part of our contribution to enabling digital education or digital learning systems. So when it is online, we can have a look, or maybe we can have a demo. I could be able to demo to you currently here, but I think because of time, we can get another time I can demo for you the platform. But currently, it is available here. Maybe you can just check it, but it is not officially released. I just share you a link here, and then next week we're going to release it. Then you'll be have a very good opportunity to explore it and see how it works. But for now, it's still under development. So that's the link. You can just explore it. So that's what we are doing with the part of enabling digital learning and empowering kids and children to learn through very good design systems. Yeah.
Wow, that's so inspiring. Like I'm looking forward to look at the demo. I
Yeah.
think you are doing an amazing work in trying to assist and also solve challenges that we are facing within the African continent. If you have just joined us now, you are still listening to the Gen AI Africa podcast, where 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 the innovators speak African languages. So
Um,
I just
sorry,
want, because now I said when
uh,
we're starting,
sorry to interject a
the
bit.
Science Innovation Week is actually launching the implementation plan that is about strengthening the innovation ecosystem. So I want to understand, like from your perspective, how do you move from policy to implementation plan? How can we make sure that yes, there's a launch of the implementation at the continental level. Yes, there's a launch or there's a strategy, innovation strategy at the continental level, which is a blueprint. And I know in South Africa, we have a decadal innovation strategy and a plan or a plan. So how do we make sure that like there's implementation of these regulatory frameworks and also strategies? How do you move from strategies to actionable implementation of these frameworks? That would be my
Okay.
last question.
Perfect. That's a very, very good question. So for me, I think maybe you might agree with me. Like most of the people who are creating these strategies or maybe policies, they are not implementers. They just create them and they leave them there. Like there should be other people who are responsible for implementation. And most of these people who are creating these policies, they are at the decision-making level. Possibly, that's what I've seen. Most of them, they are at the decision level uh, uh, position, and after they have done a certain decision, it just remain as a decision. Like we decided to write this implementation plan. Then what's next? So next is to go down to where youth are, because we believe youth are the ones who are responsible for implementing these policies and implementation plans, or maybe set different frameworks we are creating. So just find where the youth is, what are they doing, and support with what they are doing, because by supporting is not actually maybe as you see, it's just, I don't know if it's a trend. Like, we have these conferences, but I think most of the things end when the conference ends. So we call people or innovators, hey, come and show us your solutions, and then after the conference, innovators are left there. And if you leave innovators there, they don't have anyone to support them or to empower them. That means they are not going to go uh, anywhere, because they don't have, sometimes they don't have capital, or maybe they have a little capital, but there are still uh, support they need from people with certain decision making position, maybe in the government, or maybe in a certain agents. So for me, uh, moving from planning to implementation is just, we need a bridge that should be youth. Like, how do we engage now youth? Maybe youth who are at the universities, or maybe youth who are different startups or building startups, and how are we going to empower them to make sure they implement what we have planned? Because that's where I feel like there is a gap in implementation. Like, implementers and the planners, they are at different level of communication. Like, there's nothing to bring them together. Like, there's no bridge between people who plan and people who implement. So, and to bridge that gap is actually, I think it's just to find a way to bring them together, like to make them speak the same language and to see future the same way. That's how we can move from planning to implementation. But another thing, as I said, when the policymakers and the uh, implementers are together, like they are working in collaboration, that's when you can know, like, maybe yes, we have planned it this way, but these people need maybe computation resources, need access to data, because you can have a plan maybe in a certain, let's say, AI for health framework, where we need, like, maybe in next 10 years, we need to have AI solution for cancer screening. That's very okay. That's a plan. But where are the data to help create this kind of solution? Where are the talents to help us create this kind of solution? Where are the resources, possibly computational resources, to help us create this kind of solution? So you see, when you get out of the plan, and then you think of what are the things needed to accomplish this. That's where you can think of, here I need youth. Maybe where am I going to get them? I'm going to get them from a university. Or maybe here I need youth, but I need youth who are working on a certain startup, that they have certain talent, they have certain knowledge, they have certain exposure. Then you find them, they work on the solution, and that's one. So to add on that, I've seen, I think last week, were specific companies released the certain data set, which is African centric. But at the same time, we have solutions around Africa which have been created by Africans around that specific problem, but no one cares. So that's another thing which is very, I don't know how we can solve it, like to trust uh, youth who are building things here in Africa, that they can do, or they can deliver what we actually need. So I don't know. I don't have a very specific solution to that. It's more of a perspective or mindset shifting. So I think it's out of my control, but that's another problem which we have, which hinders us from moving from policies to implementation or to outcomes. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Zephania. I know you are so knowledgeable. So
Yeah.
I know we can talk like the entire
Yeah.
the entire afternoon or evening. So thank
Yeah.
you so much for gracing us with your presence. We truly
Thank
appreciate your time, and also for sharing all this knowledge. I hope our explorers will benefit, especially with the platforms that you mentioned, like the visual learning. I'm looking forward to it. Please don't forget once like it's out to show us. But I'll also check at the your demo.
Yeah.
I'm so excited because like this is like it's a life-changing solution. These are kinds of solutions that we are looking forward to.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
To our explorers, thank you so much for joining us today. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. So I'm kind of alone because July is in the background because of flu. But yeah, thank you so much, explorers, for today. We are going to continue to bring and spotlight African innovations and also bring experts, policymakers, and also innovators to actually assist us in highlighting the developments in terms of the innovation ecosystem, in terms of the AI. As you know, that our focus is more on youth participation in the AI policies and also in the AI global landscape, or the African contribution within the like global landscape as it relates to the artificial intelligence. Otherwise, thank you so much.